Hello, so today I'm going to talk about further sort of government failings in the UK, but interestingly it's going to be kind of prepping related, so this is going to be one of the points that I like to drive home, and I've been further proven right. Again, not that I want to be proven right by this kind of stuff, but it always ends up happening. Now, if you're wondering why there's a wet cap on my head, it's because it's another 30-degree plus day. You know, sweltering and horrible, especially because not much wind at the moment, sadly. Houses in the UK do not have aircon. I couldn't even install an aircon unit in this house properly because lots of the windows don't really open up to the outside very efficiently. So that's why I've got a wet cap on. If you can hear water, that's because a fish tank that was in one room has been moved to this room now, so that's why you can hear water. So, to get on with the video, you've probably been aware there's been lots of fires up north. I think it was near Manchester, and lots of sort of grasslands burning down and everything like that, because obviously when you have extended periods of heat in a country that's not used to it, there's not much to prevent wildfires. So we've now got wildfires going on in the UK. They've had to draft the army in to help deal with it because local fire services are totally overwhelmed by it. So there's lots of danger of obviously smoke being inhaled by local residents, who very few of them actually were evacuated. So obviously the best thing to do would be stay in your house with all your windows closed in that case where there's sort of smoke coming in. Now thankfully there's not any horrible chemicals really burning in the smoke for the most part. It's just, you know, grass smoke, sort of, you know, when nature burns down kind of smoke, wildfire smoke. But, you know, there are people there who are stuck there who are now inhaling that smoke. So, guess what the local police and government did? Hand out surgical masks. Surgical masks and dust masks. And I'm sure if you watch my videos regularly you know what the problem is. Surgical masks do not filter anything. Surgical masks are literally so a surgeon can be operating on somebody or dealing with a patient, and when he speaks he doesn't risk spitting into an open wound or anything like that on the patient. It also protects his mouth and nose from being hit by bodily fluids from the patient. They're kind of good to stop people spreading like waterborne diseases where you cough and sneeze them onto each other, but they're not very good at all at actually filtering anything because they're not airtight around the sides. That's how you breathe with one on, otherwise you'd suffocate. If you had a waterproof material just completely covering your nose and mouth, no air could get around it, you'd suffocate to death. So obviously the reason is there's gaps around the sides so you can breathe, so no, they do not filter smoke. And dust masks. If it was a P3 dust mask, I'm sure that would be alright, but lots of them aren't. They're like the really just inconvenience dust masks that, as I've said before, are totally useless. With the big gaps around the outside again, because you're very unlikely to get one that makes a good face seal, especially if it's just a single elastic band type one. And they've given these to people. Now, apparently doctors in the area are reporting, you know, there's more and more people coming in daily with illnesses related to smoke inhalation, you know, damage being permanently done to them in some cases due to smoke inhalation. And the reason being, I think, as well, is because people have decided not to get out of there, and then they've been given this false sense of security by being handed masks that don't actually protect them. It's just making things worse. As I've said before, you actually kind of need a self-contained breathing apparatus, like, you know, an oxygen mask, or it would actually be an air mask, because everybody keeps correcting me. You know, so clean air comes in, that's in your tank that's been previously filled up, or a rebreather or something like that. Now, a full-on gas mask that covers your entire face and eyes with, you know, an ABEC style filter and a P3 filter, yes, that will give you much better protection than not having one, because it's going to stop the smoke and a lot of the chemicals in the smoke, although it won't stop all of them, as I've said before. Because I've had people go, but I've had a P3 filter and it didn't work because I was inhaling smoke and some of the chemicals got me. Yeah, exactly what I said in the video. I suddenly left a comment like that, but thank you for not paying attention. So, but this goes back to, I think, just how unprepared the UK is in general for any kind of civil defence matters. And as you know, where I've gone over the War Emergency Guidebook and everything else, the nuke plan for Britain was basically the oh shit plan. We have no contingency plans whatsoever. If anybody survives, we then need to send out what's left of the army, or you know, just arm people we can trust, and then basically reinstall feudalism. So this generally happens with everything in the UK, and obviously it's made worse by cuts and political sort of messing about with stuff. But it seems the UK is really not prepared for any kind of civil disaster at all, or, you know, any kind of environmental disaster even. We do shit every time there's flooding. It kind of annoys me that if they have soldiers on standby, you know, the day the flooding happens, they can't start getting the soldiers to do their jobs then. They, you know, the soldiers do a good job. It generally takes them a few days for the government to actually okay using soldiers to help people in need, which I think, you know, if you've got an army, it's far better to use it for defensive and civil matters like that than actually invading the Middle East, personally. But that's my strange opinion, isn't it? But, you know, just going back to the point, you know, it seems Britain isn't prepared for anything. Now, surely we must know with global warming, the greenhouse effects and everything like that. I know there's people that don't believe in all that, but I'm pretty sure most of the evidence points the Earth is getting hotter, whether or not you believe man is involved in making it hotter. Surely it must come as no surprise that the more often we have heat waves and the summer's getting hotter and hotter, well, I think at the moment Britain's in its longest heat wave for 40 years or something like that, you know, that you're going to get more wildfire type scenarios, but apparently we're just not prepared to deal with it at all. Oh, who'd have thought that there would have been a wildfire? I wouldn't have done. Oh, yeah. Just as, you know, cutting police numbers and not really prosecuting criminals would lead to a rise in gang violence. Oh, who'd have thought that? You know, it's the knives making them do it. Get a life, bin that knife, that will stop the knife crime. So, there you go. Yet again, unfortunately, I've been proved right when, as I say every time, the UK is just totally unprepared for a lot of this civil kind of conflict stuff and just environmental disasters. And, you know, the local authorities are doing the worst possible thing because, you know, what they could have done is done nothing. Or they could have advised people what actual masks they could have got, you know, got on and stay indoors, keep the windows closed, but instead it's, here's some surgical masks that won't protect you. Yeah, wear them and get a false sense of security. So, there you go.